You cleaned your space once, maybe on a Saturday when you finally snapped and filled 3 trash bags before lunch. For a few days, the room felt quiet. The counter was visible. The floor looked bigger. You walked in and thought, okay, maybe this is me now. Then one Amazon box stayed by the door. Laundry found the chair again. Target receipts spread across the kitchen counter. The bathroom drawer collected half-used products you forgot you bought. Your phone gained another 100 screenshots. Your desk grew a paper pile with no clear beginning, and suddenly you were back in the same room, feeling that small, private embarrassment. Why does the clean version of my life never last? That part hurts because you did the work. You tossed the junk. You folded the clothes. You wiped the surfaces. For a minute, it felt like you had become a different person. Then Tuesday happened. A late package. A rushed morning. Just put it there for now. A free tote bag you did not ask for, but felt weird refusing. Clutter does not return all at once. It sneaks in through open doors. 1 receipt a day is 365 tiny decisions a year. 1 box left out each week is 52 little reminders that later is running the house. That is why the big clean-out feels so good and fails so fast. It gives you a clean moment. It does not give you a clean system. And Japanese minimalism, at its best, is not about living in an empty white room where 1 coffee mug makes you feel guilty. Nobody needs a home that looks afraid of being used. You need a space that can recover. A room that gets messy, then comes back before the mess becomes your mood. Minimalism is not perfection. It is fewer things pulling at you. So before you blame yourself for another clutter cycle, look at the real problem. The mess is not just what is sitting on the counter. It is the system that keeps letting it land there. You stand in that freshly cleaned room with the floor finally open. And there is this quiet hope that maybe this version of you will stick. You breathe differently in a room like that. Your shoulders drop. Then life walks back in with shoes on. A mailer lands on the entry table. A water bottle stays in the car. A receipt sits in your jacket pocket for 9 days. That is not a character flaw. It is a default problem. A purge removes the evidence. A habit changes the root. That is the difference between decluttering and staying clutter-free. Decluttering is the dramatic part. Staying clear is the small, boring part that saves you from starting over. In Japanese homes, the lesson is often quieter than the aesthetic online. Fewer objects, clearer routines, less visual noise, more respect for what already has a place. My image for that comes from Grandfather Daiki. Not as some perfect symbol, just a real older man with a small room. 1 low table, tea, a notebook, and very little in the room asking to be maintained. Nothing flashy, nothing performative, just enough space for his attention to land. That is the promise here. 6 simple habits that stop the clutter cycle before it rebuilds itself. Not a showroom, not a punishment, a recoverable home. Put 1 thing away before you leave the room, because the clean life you want is not built by 1 heroic weekend. It is protected by tiny defaults you barely have to think about. Your thumb is hovering over an Amazon cart at 11 p.m. You are not even sure you want the thing anymore, but it is there, shipping is fast, and buying it feels easier than deciding. Or you are standing in Target with a clearance basket in your hand. Or someone offers you a free tote bag, and saying no feels rude, so you take it home and let it join the pile of other free things costing you space. Question everything before it enters your home. This is prevention over correction. Every piece of clutter was once allowed in. The candle that was half off. The backup water bottle from Costco. The phone stand from an ad. The kitchen tool that promised to make life easier and now lives behind the blender. Clutter starts before the mess. It starts at checkout. Most people think minimalism begins with trash bags, but the cleaner move is allowing less. Before anything crosses the doorway, ask 3 questions. Do I truly need this? Do I already own something that does the same job? Where exactly will it live? That last question catches the lie. I'll find a place usually means the counter, or the back seat, or the closet floor. Want cleaner counters? Stop feeding them. Want calmer drawers? Stop stuffing them. Want faster resets? Stop adopting objects with no address. American life makes refusal feel strange. Cheap feels responsible. Free feels rude to reject. Fast shipping feels like a reward after a long day. But a deal is not a deal if it becomes another thing you have to store, move, dust, hide, and eventually donate. Make the doorway your filter. Need, duplicate, home. If the answer is fuzzy, the item waits. This is not about becoming the person who owns one bowl and silently judges everybody else. It is about building a home that can breathe after a normal Tuesday. Tonight, remove one item from a cart or say no to one thing with no home. And once you see how much clutter enters through small purchases, the next pile starts looking less like clothing and more like morning stress. You open a packed closet in the morning and push past old jeans that almost fit, sale shirts with tags still on them, gym clothes for the version of you who was going to work out every day, and a jacket you keep because it was expensive. Somehow you still grab the same hoodie, same black jeans, same 5 outfits you always wear. Then you stand there, half-dressed, already late, feeling like you have nothing to wear, in front of a closet that can barely close. Own less clothing and wear what you actually love. A small, intentional wardrobe is not deprivation. It is less friction before your day even starts. Too many clothes can make getting dressed harder. Not because you have bad style, but because every extra hanger asks a question. Does this fit? Do I still like this? Was this a waste of money? Will I wear this when my body changes? One shirt is not heavy. 50 undecided shirts are. Keep the clothes your real life already votes for. The jeans you grab without thinking. The shirt that always feels right. The jacket that works with almost everything. The goal is not to look minimal. The goal is to get dressed and leave. Here is the math that makes it real if your closet steals 5 minutes every morning. That is 35 minutes a week, which is more than 30 hours a year spent negotiating with clothes you do not even wear. 30 hours gone to guilt hangers. In America, we are trained to keep the deal, the backup, the someday version. Getting rid of it can feel like admitting you wasted money, but the money is already gone. Keeping it just makes you pay again every morning. Do not attack the whole closet tonight. Start with 5 pieces you have not worn in the last 3 months. Put them in a bag by the door. You do not even have to donate them yet. Just remove them from the decision zone. Bag 5 unworn pieces tonight. Tomorrow morning, notice how one less argument can feel like energy. You come home tired, drop your bag by the door, and tell yourself the shoes can wait. You open a package on the floor, take out the thing you ordered, and leave the box sitting there like a small cardboard pet. You eat a snack, set the plate down, and walk away because it is only one plate. Clean as you go, not all day, not obsessively, just in the moment when the mess is still small. This is a tiny closure habit often associated with Japanese homes handle the dish, jacket, package, and small mess before they become a pile. When the box opens, the box gets flattened. When the shoes come off, the shoes go back. When the snack ends, the plate leaves with you. Same shape, same moment, same 10 seconds. 10 seconds now beats 1 hour later. Because the mess is not really the mug, it is the open loop. Your eyes keep passing it, your body keeps registering it. Every unfinished thing whispers, "You still have to deal with me." That is why a room can look not that bad and still feel heavy. Later is where homes get buried. One delayed plate a day becomes 365 plates a year. One tiny later each night becomes a clean-up you never meant to schedule. This is not about becoming uptight. It is not about wiping counters while dinner gets cold or panicking because your house looks lived in. American life already turns everything into a performance. Even being tidy can become another way to shame yourself. That is not the goal. The goal is a home that forgives normal life because the small loops close fast. If it takes under 10 seconds, do it before you leave the room. The mug, the hoodie, the keys, the box, the shoes. Close one loop tonight. And even when you do this well, real life still drops mail, receipts, charges, and desk papers in the wrong room. So the next habit keeps one messy week from becoming your whole personality. It is Sunday morning, and the week has left evidence everywhere. A charger on the couch, mail by the door, desk papers stacked in a way that looks temporary but somehow feels permanent. Receipts in your backpack, a hoodie in the wrong room, little things fell out of your pockets, your schedule, your attention, and landed on the nearest flat surface. Do a weekly Sunday reset, not a deep clean, a recovery lap. Walk through your space for 10 minutes and return loose things before they become the room. The random charger goes back in the drawer, the desk papers go into one folder, the mail gets sorted, the bag gets emptied, the hoodie goes where hoodies live. This habit works because even a good system gets bumped by real life. A long workday, a grocery run, a friend coming over, a night when you had energy for dinner but not for putting every little thing back. That does not mean minimalism failed. It means your home was used. In America, messy can feel like losing. That shame makes people wait until the mess is big enough to deserve a full cleaning day. But small disorder is easier to catch. 10 minutes a week is 520 minutes a year, less than 9 hours total to prevent the weekend you dread. The goal is not a showroom. The goal is a room that comes back fast. So make Sunday simple. Walk the edges of the room, clear one surface, empty one bag. Do not reorganize your life. Do not start labeling bins at 9 p.m. Do not turn this into another personality test you can fail. Set a 10-minute timer this Sunday. Because once your physical space has a rhythm, you start noticing the other room full of clutter you carry everywhere. You unlock your phone at lunch just to check one thing. Then you see app folders you never open, 27 browser tabs, promo emails from stores you bought from once, DoorDash screenshots, duplicate photos, old subscriptions, and random screenshots from 6 months ago because you were afraid you might need them later. Nothing is on the floor, but your attention still has to step over everything. Practice digital minimalism too. Your phone can become a junk drawer with a battery. Digital clutter does not look like clutter because it glows. But every unread badge, dead tab, old app, and save for later file asks for a tiny piece of you. Not enough to ruin the day, enough to keep your mind from feeling clear. Digital clutter is invisible clutter. And the trick is not to become a person with a perfect home screen and no personality. That just turns minimalism into another way to judge yourself. The goal is not an empty phone. The goal is a phone that stops grabbing your sleeve every time you open it. Do not make this a weekend project. Do not organize every album. Do not build a color-coded productivity system you will abandon by Wednesday. Set one timer for 15 minutes. Delete unused apps. Close dead browser tabs. Remove old screenshots. Trash duplicate photos. Unsubscribe from promo emails you never read. Start where the annoyance is loudest. If your inbox feels like a mall, unsubscribe. If your camera roll feels like a junk drawer, delete screenshots. If your browser looks like a panic attack, close tabs. American life makes everything easy to save and hard to release. You do not need a cleaner identity. You need fewer tiny hooks. Clean one digital pile for 15 minutes. Because the hardest clutter to release is not always the thing itself. Sometimes it is the promise that the thing will make you feel different. You see a sale in your inbox, a kitchen gadget in a short video, a new hoodie on a website, or a small piece of home decor that feels harmless. The question is not whether it is cute or cheap. The question is whether it brings you closer to walking into your apartment after work and not being hit by visual noise. Remember why you started. Clutter always comes back with a good excuse. You can feel the real cost before you even name it. The door closes behind you. Your bag slides off your shoulder. Before your shoes are off, the room is already asking for something. Move me, sort me, wash me, find a place for me. Clutter spends your peace first. Minimalism is not about proving you can own the least. It is about protecting the quiet you keep saying you want. This is why that image of Grandfather Daiki stays with me. A small room, one low table, a cup of tea, a notebook, a pen. Nothing in the room trying to become a project. He did not seem deprived. He seemed unbothered by the kind of stuff that keeps most of us managing, rearranging, and shopping for a better version of the same problem. That is the part worth keeping, not the aesthetic, the feeling. So before buying the gadget, the backup, the duplicate, the maybe someday item, Ask a better question. Will this make tomorrow night quieter? Or give me one more thing to manage? Want a calmer morning? Protect the counter. Want a quieter night? Protect the bedroom. Want fewer weekend clean-ups? Protect the doorway. One skipped impulse a week is 52 fewer objects a year. 52 fewer things to store, move, hide, regret, and donate. That is not deprivation. That is a lighter house. And do not turn this into shame. Your home can have books, mugs, sneakers, blankets, dog toys, kid stuff, hobby gear, and still be peaceful. The question is not, does this look minimal? The question is, does this help my life reset? Skip one purchase this week and write down the evening you are protecting. Because the point was never empty shelves. It was coming home without feeling accused by your own space. So if you want to stop the clutter cycle, do not try to become a completely different person overnight. Protect the doorway before clutter enters. Keep the clothes your real life actually wears. Close the 10-second loop before later takes over. Use Sunday to catch the small disorder while it is still small. Clear the digital junk drawer you carry in your hand. Remember the evening you are trying to protect. That is the whole system. Not dramatic, not perfect, just repeatable. Picture it. You come in after a long day. Your keys hit the tray. The counter is not perfect, but it is not yelling. The chair has a jacket on it, not an entire second closet. Your phone still has apps, photos, messages, life. But it does not feel like another room you have to clean. That is the point. A clear home is not an empty home. It is a home where your attention can land. Not every shelf has to look like a catalogue. Not every drawer has to prove you have your life together. You are not trying to impress strangers with how little you own. You are trying to stop donating your attention to objects you never wanted to manage. One less box by the door. One less shirt arguing with you in the morning. One less mug waiting on the table. One less Sunday swallowed by a mess that could have been 10 minutes. Small boundaries build quiet rooms. Pick one habit from this video and start tiny tonight. And before you go, comment this exact line, "No more clutter from blank this week." Fill in the blank with the one source you are closing the door on. Take care of yourself. Start with one.